Hello and welcome to another Woodshop podcast with Mike Coffey of Coffey Custom Builds, Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, and Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop. You can find us all, as well as the podcast, on Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome to episode 131 of another Woodshop podcast. Where this week we are joined by an artist turned woodworker, turned YouTube superstar, turned Instagram supermodel. He's been woodworking for over 30 years, turning his passion into education. He's been creating for over a decade, which is way before it was cool. And not to mention, he's got the handsomest last name around. John Peters is here.
Hey, Pete, great intro, buddy. You're really good at that. Pete's our hype guy. He gets us going. He gets us ready to podcast.
The best in the game.
Like Pete just said, John Peters is joining us this week. We are going to have a bunch of questions for him, but real quick, I wanted to say a big thank you to our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We really appreciate you and everything you do. So, John, you are the owner of Longview Woodworking on YouTube. You have a significantly sized following over there. It's not insignificant, I would say. It's
extra medium.
It's 640,000 subs. That's impressive. I mean, how long have you been on YouTube?
I've been doing it a long time. I think 12 years, maybe.
John, I think what you do is really great with your channel. You keep it accessible, and I think you do a really good job of showing people that anyone can do woodworking. And I think that's really great. I think it's something that's very important, and there needs to be more of that. So what is your thoughts and approach on all that?
Definitely. I think anybody can do woodworking. It's not rocket science, and it's really comes down to if you have a passion. And if you have a passion for it, there's so many great YouTube channels and Instagram pages out there that can help anybody learn what they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because, so I started woodworking in the 80s, and I had to learn everything sweeping the floor first.
Right.
Now you can learn everything in like 3 months and start building furniture. And you could start building furniture in a few weeks, but I mean, it really doesn't take much, because let's face it, most pieces of furniture are basically a box.
Right.
And most tables are a box with legs or whatever. And then you just elaborate on it and make it more sophisticated and more elegant as you fine tune your skills.
Just all
tables are just boxes boxes with three sides. That's all tables are. I mean, it's really cool. You got a great channel. You got, you have a long catalog, which is amazing. I mean, your video catalog's long. You got a bunch of great pieces on there. It's all really great, really great content. So we're really glad to have you on the show. In the pre-show, you were talking about how you're an artist, I guess you said turned woodworker. I mean, you want to go into that a bit, talk about how you got started in art, what kind of art you did, and how that led to woodworking and where you're at now.
So I was a horrible student in high school.
Same.
And I was in something called, I think it was called distributive education. And in 11th grade, I started working at a place called the Woodworker. So I would get out of school at 12 o'clock and work from 1 till 6, 5 days a week and 4 hours on Saturdays for my boss. Wow. I'm still friends with him today, Bob Waltsack. And I learned how to do woodworking. It's so funny. Back in the day, we had, there was no riving knives.
Right.
It was just
no saw
unbelievable.
stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Seat of the pants.
And so I continued to stay with him and work with him. And then after high school, I went to art school at Ramapo College and in Parsons in New York City, just as a non-matriculating student, and realized that I liked making art. And so I did that. I also worked at a couple of construction jobs, but fast forward, my wife and I got married, I think in the mid 90s. And in maybe 1999, we opened a brick and mortar art gallery because I had started making furniture and art, and I was selling my art for more than my furniture. So we decided to open a gallery. Smart. And we opened the gallery and quickly became a focus on two schools, the School of Hans Hofmann and the School of Edwin Dickinson. and we worked with these artists, and then I made art that designers could kind of tell me what they like. So I would make art, but then they say, hey, we like this, but can you make it this big, or can you make it this color? And I was just
It's like custom ordered art pieces,
Sounds like
right?
woodworking.
Yeah, it sounds like woodworking, but with art. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it was kind of specific. So I mean, I worked with steel, I worked with wood, worked with aluminum, worked with epoxy. And so as this kind of morphed into something, technology got better and I got good at Photoshop, and the business became where I would make little paintings, maybe 5 by 10 inches, and then expand them on the client's wall at whatever size they wanted to get the commission.
Nice.
Smart.
It's neat. And I still do that today, and I like doing all of it. So, but I love making furniture. The thing with art is there's a mystery to it. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. If you design a piece of furniture and you keep your nose to the grindstone and you do all the processes, you're kind of guaranteed of that outcome. Yes,
Right.
There's going to be some changes in the way the wood works or the wood grain lines up, and that's the surprise. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between a painting and a piece of furniture, in my view.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. You don't, I mean, you kind of,
Like,
you don't have a
great
cut
point.
sheet for the piece of art.
Yeah, you
really
don't do a cut list. Yeah, cut list, or you don't need plans.
Or
You
render.
don't buy plans for a painting. You just
Right.
watch a Bob Ross video.
Yeah.
Like
So the paintings that I do are the paintings that are more popular that I do are very structural though. So you can plan them out and you do have an idea. So some of the paintings that I do.
Me too. I do paint by numbers. Kind of like a plan.
So some of the so Dan had mentioned one of the paintings that he likes of mine is the paintings of the stars. So I do these stars and bars paintings, and that came from wanting some control, but also wanting to have the looseness of the abstract expressionists of like the 1950s. So by putting a graphic down on a piece of aluminum and then using paint remover to remove the paint within a couple of seconds and freezing that expression in those few seconds of time was a way of creating an abstract expressionist painting on an image. So it kind of contains it.
That's awesome.
wow.
That does make sense. That's just very different world than what I'm used to. That's cool that you have a taste of both worlds. That's awesome. So we have like a quick brief on who John Peters is here. So we're going to kind of jump to the format of the show here. We actually didn't brief you on this, but what we do every week on the show is we talk about
Dan's been out of the game for or Mike's been out of the game for 1 week and he forgot the whole layout.
This is Pete's fault 100%. I'm not taking any responsibility. No. Yeah, so we usually talk about what's going on our bench. We usually do that after we hear this.
What's on my bench?
That's Dan singing "What's on My Bench." Dan's our jingle guy. No, so we're going to talk about that, but I'm going to throw it actually right to you, John. What are you working on right now? I know you said in the pre-show you're putting out a video. I don't know if you could talk about that. What you got going on?
Sure. So my wife works from home, and her office is going to be. We have a 10 by 16 foot shed on the property.
Nice.
That was the boys' music studio, and I'm turning that into her home office. So I built some windows for it a few weeks ago, and now I'm making her a large writing desk. I'm calling it a writing desk because I don't know what else to call it. An office desk.
Right.
So
painting.
It's pretty big. It's 26 inches deep by 64 inches wide.
Nice.
The top is reclaimed white oak from a barn here in New Jersey.
Nice.
And the
See,
base,
New Jersey.
Yep. And the base is painted. And from the business point of view, because I think people like business, this project is sponsored by Van Dyke's Restorers because they make the legs. So this is the second time I've worked for them on a project. Cool. And so, like, as we talked earlier, it's kind of nice to try to make projects as approachable as possible.
Yeah.
And I think the most difficult thing in this piece of furniture would be to make the legs. So the legs come to me from Van Dyke's Restorers and they just go right into the project.
Nice.
Cool.
So that's
That's
what
a
I'm working on.
great point. 'Cause
Is that a
that's-
company that's local to you?
No, they reached out to me a couple of years ago, and I built a table for my mom's deck, an outdoor table, and I was just posting about it this summer because I had to build a new top for it.
That's right. You made
Yeah.
that new top.
Yeah, and so they said, "Hey, we'd love to work with you again." I said, "Well, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think?" And so
Cool.
they're just really nice people, and that's always been my experience working with sponsors. If it needs to be kind of easygoing, and I'm
you don't
gonna
shoehorn
give
it into
more.
your content.
What's that?
You don't shoehorn it into your content.
I can't do that. I have a hard time doing that. I wish I could. I did a commercial for Stable today on my Instagram, and but that's because I used a product, so that was cool. Stable's
Awesome.
Stable's a fuel stabilizer, but they also make bike cleaning now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Right on.
if I use it and I believe in it, then I'd love to have them as a sponsor for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyone.
That's the way to go. Have that relationship already. It makes it more organic and feel not so dirty for sure.
Yeah.
It's not nice way to go about it. That's cool. So that video is going to be live on YouTube tomorrow.
If everything goes well, I'll be posting it tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Sweet.
Still
Very
got some
cool.
things to do, but
You got anything else going on right now?
well, then
No is a fine answer.
No, I said no. Then I go into the shed. So I'll be putting a hardwood floor in the shed. I'll be putting the
sweet.
windows in the shed,
Nice.
and so the shed is kind of a dry run at a small house. I have 20 acres up in Vermont, and I want to build some little things up
Ooh.
there. So
Nice.
Sweet.
Very
That'd be
nice.
fun.
kind of a fun run at it. Like, hey, let's build something and see if there's some interest in it.
Nice.
I have a quick question for you, John. How's the outdoor tabletop holding up? Did you make that out of Sapile?
Yeah, and it's doing really good so far. And I finished it with the Total Boat Gleam.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so I don't know if you guys knew this because it seemed a little counterintuitive to me. If you're going to use the Gleam, you need to use the gloss first, even if you
Mhm.
want a satin finish.
We did
Right.
know that.
Yeah.
How did you know that?
We've
They
had
told us.
on
We're friends with
we've
Total
had on Mike Mills, who owns Total Boat, and
Oh, there
we've
you go.
talked to Total Boat quite a bit. Yeah.
I've done actually a few boat decks before. I got a couple of buddies who I've done boat decks for, like the off the back of the boat where you step on the back. Anyway, I've done those a few times. Then I asked them how to do it. They didn't want a gloss because they wanted a satin because of they thought it would be less slick for some reason.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, of
I
course.
was like, yeah, whatever you want. This makes no difference, but whatever. So I asked them, yeah, you got to do the gloss and then the satin over that. I guess because their satin has the satin agent is so strong that it'll become ghosted almost is the
Mhm.
problem.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why you got to do the gloss first as the first coat.
So that's what I did, and it's looking good, and it's outside.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That
Good to know.
That Gleam's durable stuff. It's durable
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and Sapile is a great outdoor,
Yep.
wood.
Yeah.
Well, I tried Red Grandis, and it's just potato chipped.
Yeah, that's what you replaced.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Red Grandis.
It's from the eucalyptus family. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
A
It's
fast-growing tree.
Doesn't it have like a really long name, like Red Grandis Ironwood Eucalyptus?
I don't know about that.
Something like
but
that?
It grows really fast, so you see huge growth rings, and it's just it's funny because my mom's deck has southern exposure, so
I could be way off.
it cupped where the ends go towards the sky. I bought that table back, and it's in the woods here on top of the table, and now it's cupped the absolute opposite way, just as much.
Wild.
So,
So
and I
not
did
good for
everything-
exterior.
I have to tell you though, the Total Boat Fixo is holding up great on all the seams. I love that stuff.
I
Oh,
haven't
that
used
stuff
that
is
stuff
great.
except for on those boats we did at Maker Camp.
That's my knowledge of Thixo as well, and I'm
Oh, okay.
impressed by it.
Dan, I thought you had a
Well,
whole
I'll tell you-
project.
I'll tell you why you're going to love it. If you got to do a glue up and it's going to take you some time, it's going to stress you out. You have an incredibly long working time. And
Right.
because it's thick, it's not running all over the place.
Right.
So if you're going to glue up a huge table, you glue that table up and you can scrape off the stuff in the on the top of the table with a putty knife if you like, but the bottom of the table, it's not going to ooze out. It's not even going to hit your table. It's going to look like little waves along the bottom of the table that may sag down a half of an inch.
Right.
So it's just very easy to use and it's strong. So I like that stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, that I need to use that. I need to get some of that in here and try to use that. That's a great idea for a glue up. I've been using epoxy for glue ups lately. But yeah, it's like it just gets everywhere. It's so thin.
Everywhere.
It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
It's such a nightmare, but it's so nice to have that kind of open time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dunlap, what you got going on, buddy?
I finished all 7 of those doors. They are a dunzo out of my
What?
shop. I am so pumped, you guys.
Good job, dude.
Nice.
Yes. Now, if I could just get the client to pay me, that would be great.
Oh,
I don't think they listen to this, so yeah. Yeah, I've only sent them 3 reminder texts. I'm going to have to do a phone call tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to that.
now this is 7
That's
doors.
the bad part
There's
about running a business.
4 more?
What's that?
There's 4 more doors, right?
5 more.
5 more?
There are 4 more
12.
doors, but that is a
Oh.
different commission. So I have 3
Oh.
different commissions with the same client. I did 7 interior doors. Now I'm going to do 4 giant pocket doors. These things are going to be 6 foot by 10 foot each. It's basically a panel. Two of those panels are going to be on one side of the house, and they're going to come out and open up and be like a wall. That's how their house is designed.
Are these the MDF? Are these MDF?
They will have to be MDF. I
Yeah.
can't think of any other way to make a 6 foot by 10 foot panel and keep it straight and not, cupped at all. And they have to be super seamless. So if anybody has any ideas, I'm open to it, because right now I'm having a lot of trouble finding some more 4x10 MDF.
How are you? Oh, you were gonna.
I was gonna seam them. I was gonna lam them together. Cut one in half, so 2 foot and 4 foot, and then flip it and have 4 foot and 2 foot, so that the seam doesn't line up.
Yeah.
That was my plan.
If you
And then,
sand it enough though, and they're going
Glue
to
them
paint
together,
it,
obviously.
it's going to have a seam
They are
in it?
they are getting painted. I sand them, or we sand them.
Have you considered doing an MDF core with a lumber veneer skin over the top and thinning it out, and then you can use you can actually glue on. You can make a big you can get 10-foot long sticks, get your 10-foot height, glue it up to a 6-foot panel that's really thin, like a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch, and then glue that on top of the MDF.
You don't think
Making
that
a
would
sandwich
move?
out of it? Not the MDF won't allow it to move, I don't think. I mean, I think if you have like a 3/4 inch core, and then you do I don't know, what do you need to build to, like 1.3 or
Inch and a half.
Inch and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you could make a nice sandwich out of that.
I'll have to think
don't know.
about it.
Yeah, think
Maybe
about that.
maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow or something.
Yeah, you
over
can
the
call me
phone.
tomorrow. Give me a call tomorrow. I think that would work. I have an idea, because if you patchwork the panels on the inside, like you'll have to. There's no end grain on MDF. It's not. You can butt them
It's all
together.
ingrained.
It's MDF.
all
Well,
ingrained.
I'm also putting a hardwood border around it so that the MDF panels themselves don't get beat up.
Yeah,
'Cause
so if
they
you're,
will be
if you're
soft.
picture framing it, if you skin it with like a veneer, like a thick veneer, like a shop sawn veneer, I think you'd be fine, dude. I think that's how they make a lot of interior doors anyway, solid core stuff. So
Okay, possibly dumb question here, but if you joint the edges of the plywood or the MDF and you glue it
Joint
up,
the
and you-
edges.
because you're trying to get a seamless transition there. If you
Right.
glue it
You
up
use
fine
track
enough
saw,
and
but yeah.
sand it,
Yeah, I was gonna do
isn't it
track
gonna
saw
be
and
perfectly
domino.
flawless anyways once they paint it?
yeah,
Or track
Yes.
saw it. You don't have to joint it. It just track saw it too.
Yeah, I was gonna do track saw, dominoes, and use
I feel like once they
putty
paint
or
it, it's
mud
not,
or
you're not gonna be able
whatever,
to tell there's a
drywall mud.
seam there at all.
you won't be able to tell there's a seam at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm not
with
worried about the
MDF.
seam.
The
I'm not
MD
worried
I mean,
about the
they-
seam.
What I'm saying is
Oh,
you can stack, you can glue them butt to butt across the top. You don't need a 10-foot long panel, is what I'm saying.
That's how
You can
Nick
make
slept
your own
at Maker
10-foot long
Camp.
panel. There's no end grain. It's not like a pan. You're just
Oh,
putting it
I
together.
see what you're saying. Okay, I wasn't
And then
following
because
along.
you're gonna picture frame it, that's
Yeah.
gonna give you like rigidity around that. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be all glued up.
You are
it's gonna be
correct,
fine.
sir.
Oh,
So you
I
can-
get
you
I
can
see
do
what you're
like-
saying.
You do if you need you do a 2.5 by 5 panel. Would you need 6 by 10? 5 by 10? I mean,
Yeah, 6 by 10.
You do 4 3-foot by 5-foot panels, and you glue them together in like a big square. They're gonna stay together fine. It doesn't make a difference.
I see what you're saying.
They're MDF.
Yes, okay, you are correct.
Maybe drop.
I don't know why the heck I didn't think of that.
Do you have the DF 700 or do you have the 500?
Me?
Both.
I have both.
Yeah, you have both. Yeah, drop those big 14s in there at that thing for lineup. That thing's not going anywhere. And then when you picture frame it around the edge, it's not. That thing's golden.
Good thinking, Michael.
Workshopping.
All right. Aside from the door talk, I know everybody's excited about the doors.
Door talk with Dunlap.
7 doors down.
The other exciting thing that I do every week, Etsy orders. Got so many. That
reminds me,
insane.
I need to double all my prices so I don't get any orders over there. I need to do that.
I'm actually at the point where I think I should probably raise all my prices too, because I'm having a hard time keeping up. I do have a YouTube video that I need to be posting soon. Probably tomorrow as well, 6 p.m. What's up, John? No, it's going to be, so Isaiah and I remade the little small parts catcher box on the back of my bandsaw. I made it out of Peruvian walnut instead of cardboard. And we made a YouTube video out of that. It just seemed like a fun little project, 1-day project. We could bang out and bust out a YouTube video. So I need to get that posted tomorrow. I haven't posted anything in like 2 weeks. So, and also I've been waiting to hear back from a possible sponsor. It's been a nightmare trying to get a hold of them. And I'm not going to say much more about that, but I am frustrated. Although, yeah.
When you're here, you're family. Did I give away too much information? Dan's sponsored by Olive Garden.
They promised me a lot of breadsticks, and
yeah,
they're not holding up their end of the bargain.
Their Olive Garden wood finish, it's just olive oil. It's terrible.
I
want to know what Mike's been up to. We missed him last week, and I feel like he's got a lot to say. So everybody take a nap.
I won't go too much into it because it is a lot right now. I've never been this overwhelmed ever. It's pretty crazy how much we have going on right now. Like we're about to ship out this big PO for this. For room and board for this big furniture company. We're doing this order for, and like we're just about to start getting ready to ship. They hit with the next PO right away. So we've got the same order. Like it's crazy. Like I knew this. We negotiated this as a long-term contract, but getting the first PO was kind of jarring, but getting the second PO right when it was supposed to hit, it was really jarring for some reason. I was like, I knew it was coming, but like when it actually hit, I was like, oh yeah, this is real. I have this really long contract to do with these guys, and it's just a lot of work. So we're making a bunch of stuff for them, and then this other project with them, the cookies, all the coffee tables we're doing for them. They are I have the PO, so I just got that about 2 hours ago, and that's really stressful too.
How close are you to hiring like 6 more guys?
That's what I was just thinking.
So Matt just put in his 2-week notice at his other job. So Matt went from 3 days a week to full time. He'll start.
Oh my God,
in 2
I thought
weeks.
he was quitting from you.
No, I would just not be here tonight. No, no, Matt.
Sacramento man walks off bridge.
Yeah. No, Matt. No. Matt quit his other job. So Matt's full time and Sean's full time. I've got this other guy named. There's a couple of guys local here who I'm talking to. I'm really hesitant to bring more people on just because payroll is so expensive, and I don't want to bring them on in a panic, because the last thing I want to do is bring someone on and be like 2 months later, be like, hey man, I was wrong. I don't have enough work. That's not what I want. I feel like that's not the case right now. Like we're really busy and I feel like I'm just drowning, but I want to be really sure that
you just want to make sure you're completely underwater and you need help.
Yeah. I want to be like, grab my hand and pull me out. I want to.
You've been overdue for another guy for like 3 months.
Yeah. I think it's. I think when I get back from this trip, I think him and I are gonna have to have a phone call, and I think it's. I mean, we're already dialed. I already made sure he's good, so I just need to bring him on and get him going. I mean, I really just need someone to do like sanding and sweeping, like tool maintenance, emptying the hoppers. I mean, the dust collectors, we're emptying them like 2 to 3 times a day right now. It's ridiculous how much like we're plowing through materials. So
a shop.
We talked about this in text a little bit a couple days ago in our group chat, And I want to say it here too. It was only like 2 years ago you were in a garage, and now you're making
wild.
big moves. So
A year ago.
kudos to you, man.
Year and a half.
You're
No, yeah, 2
really
years.
you're really killing it.
Now you're making furniture for Warren Buffett.
Hey, that's my territory. Back off.
But we got really excited. I don't have, so I've got this guy locally here. He's a contractor, and we've actually been friends since we were like little kids. And we kind of lost, we lost the connection, and then through Instagram we reconnected, and he's getting more into custom woodworking, but he's a contractor and he does general construction. And I've been trying to utilize him more as an installer for the company, because I don't have my contractor's license. And in California, I can't install anything. So I use him a lot to do all my install work and all my site work. And we've been trying to partner up for more stuff. And we just got our first job accepted together as our partnership. And we have this retail space that we're building out, and it's the largest single project Coffee Custom Builds has ever had. So that's really exciting. But most of that work is subcontracted out to my buddy. So we had to, I had to drop a subcontract and deal with all that stuff, and had my lawyer take a look at it and all that stuff. But it's just all new territory. But we're really excited to work together. He's going to be doing a lot of that work. It's going to be good to leverage my local word of mouth. I'm able to bring in work, and it's good to be able to push some of that off to him and have him keep him busy as well, and keep the money coming in for my company. So this new customer is going to be opening a new retail location every 60 to 90 days moving forward. And so far the guy's like really excited about it. So if we can keep him happy, it's good repeated work for a while. So it's a really nice retail spot. It's all like really modern, really clean, really light, almost sterile kind of a look in this retail space. And we were all able to jive really quickly. So it kind of came together really quick, and I just couldn't miss it. So also we've got two very large countertop jobs right now. One is for a winery near here. It's a very, very large countertop, all walnut, wide plank. It's pretty easy. It's just a issue of getting installed. That's kind of the real pain. The contractor has to pop a window out for us to get the thing in. So we got to coordinate that.
How do you finish it?
I am going to finish it with a 2K urethane. It is a catalyzed 2K urethane, and this stuff is pretty bulletproof. It's by Diamond Vogel. It's good stuff. I've done my own chemical and scratch tests, and it's pretty hardy stuff. So, and it's a water-based acrylic. And it's nice. I mean, it
does
looks
it
really
amber
good
up
too.
at all?
It does. It doesn't amber hard, but it does amber more than a typical. So the catalyzing agent gives it a nice ambering to it.
Nice.
So it's nice. So that will get that. And then we have another countertop. But that's like 5 weeks out, but we just got that, and it's massive countertop. It's huge. It's like 7 feet wide and 17 feet long.
Jeez.
And then it's got
What?
huge leg posts, like huge legs. And it's all going to be it's going to be butcher block.
MDF.
It's going to be nuts. Yeah, we're going to do MDF. We're going to put the panels together. I mean, honestly, at this point, like doing MDF and skinning it with like a nice shop sawn veneer would actually be very, very reasonable. But they want solid 8-quarter walnut. So, but it's all going to be butcher blocked. It's going to be 2-inch thick, like true 2-inch thick. So we're going to be cutting it, rotate,
It's a good thing you have a tractor to move that thing.
Yeah, that's where I think I have to go buy this trailer as soon as I get back from Europe. I gotta buy this trailer. Like my cargo trailer is great, but this flatbed, I gotta get a flatbed trailer really bad. So we're gonna be using the Festool connection system it's gonna be 2 panels that we've drawn together. So it'll work out nice. And then
along the length of or the
along
width?
the length.
Length, okay.
Yeah, not along the width. We won't. I don't want to butt joint. It would break up the continuity of the butcher block, so it would look kind of crappy. So we did it. So, anyways, and then doing a custom desk for this lawyer. It's a walnut slab mitered waterfall with a custom cabinet built into the left corner. for her gun safe. I don't know what kind of law she does, but she needs a gun safe in her desk. So it sounds like
Better call Saul stuff.
Yeah. She's super great. The client, she's super great, but that'll be a quick fun one to break out and knock out for her. And then
Or Sal, I guess. Better call
Sally. And then there's a bunch of other stuff, but that's kind of what's going on right now. I'm flying out to Europe. I can't say where specifically. They've asked that I don't
You're going to see Pete's family.
Go see
I'm
my
going
family.
to Poland. I'm going to Poland to see Pete's parents.
They're actually in
Miroslav
Jersey,
has
so
invited
that
me
joke's on
personally.
you.
Oh, that's weird.
You're getting pierogies from the
Don't worry,
motherland.
they're leaving Sunday, so then. Yeah,
Well, I know I'm meeting him at the airport.
Yeah.
No, so that's, I'm doing this trip right now. And it's like the absolute worst possible timing it could possibly be for me to go on a trip right now, but it is what it is. We'll figure it out. That's how it goes. Peter.
I hate following you because you're like, I'm running a full-time successful business. And then Pete's like, I had some Etsy orders this week. Well, anyways,
And I made a couple cutting boards.
no, but in all seriousness, so I had a lot of Etsy orders this week. It has been pretty busy. I'm happy to see the holiday rush start a little earlier this year via my Etsy metrics. So it's where most of my business is. That's what supports all the woodworking and the fun. So I'm very happy to have those numbers be going up. But
Yeah, dude.
Trying to get those orders out. I'm still trying to build up my inventory for Christmas because that's coming up. Dan, we can go back to you. Don't worry, I'll come back to you. But I'm just trying to get more listings in the shop, including digital files. So I have 2 vendor shows that are coming up in December that I need to make a bunch of items for. And I have all this like random wide, fairly flat pieces of walnut and cherry that I want to cut everything up into nice charcuterie boards. And I'm going to start cutting up templates on a CNC and a laser, and then just probably see if I can offer them in acrylic or maybe just MDF.
Man, acrylic is so damn expensive.
So expensive.
I think we talked about this before.
But some people just love it.
But why couldn't you just use Baltic birch, quarter-inch Baltic birch plywood for patterns?
Totally can. And that's what I'm going to try to figure out what's going to be the cheapest best quality option.
There's this like misnomer that I don't understand why people think templates need to be thicker than a 1/4 inch. I don't understand it.
Like,
is
perfect.
They want them to be so big. I don't understand it. Like, it doesn't make a difference. The bearing is only this big on the
But there are people that genuinely enjoy the look of like an acrylic template. Like they almost hang them up like it's a thing in their shop, which I totally get. If I can afford that, everything would be made out of acrylic in my shop. But so I'm basically, I need to make all of these for myself. And I figured I'm going to turn all these into products myself. I have a couple of patterns that I bought off of Etsy in the past, and I'm going to try to design some more on the iPad with some custom handles and things. So I'm going to throw that on there. Just, put a little price on there, see if people want to start buying it. Cause I do want to have more heavily invest in digital files. I mean, Mike and Dan know that's where the stuff sells. And
wait. What do you mean? Digital files, that's where the stuff sells.
I mean, that's like digital files is where it's at because you're holding no inventory and
I loved it.
Really, I mean, I know you do because you sell plans, which we'll get into. Well, I want to ask you more about that.
I love that. But is there a big market for digital files?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
wow. John,
they move like nonstop, and like I have so many files and projects that I just don't have videos tied to them, but I just need to get them out there because I have like my iCloud. I was just talking about this, but like every single job I build it in CAD. Every single job. It doesn't matter if we get it or not. I build it just to keep that muscle memory going. I build the 3D rendering of it always, and I make cut lists for everything. So I have all that stuff. I need to just like hire someone to come through into my server and turn them all into files that I can sell. I just need to do it.
And
really
even
bad.
just 2D DXF SVG files just for cutting a template out, random curve or whatever. People just buy them up because honestly, if I'm looking for something, if I can't find it on Google within like 2 searches, I'm immediately going to Etsy. And if there's a file available for $2 or whatever, I'm buying it. Because $2, it's not, my time is worth more designing.
Right.
So like, I'd rather just get the thing. And that's where, but then like, here we are, all of us design multiples a week and don't post them. They're just like sitting in our library.
I know I have tons that I need to share.
Well. Even basic ones, like someone had me do a card suits. So it was like hearts, clubs, whatever. I'm like, why don't I just throw that up as a file? Just why not? Different cutting boards or whatever. It doesn't matter. But
it's basically passive income. I mean, you put it up one time and then you don't have to mess with it ever again.
Yeah. My cribbage board file, I have like 2 cribbage board files. I sell multiples a week.
Wow.
There's like $3-4 each time. So that's where it's at. John,
that's what my son Walter keeps telling me about that. He's like, oh yeah.
Offer some for free, some paid. That's where it's at. Huh. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm trying to build up that inventory because I have a lot of I see the traffic already trending up. I've been reworking some of my SEO on Etsy, so I see those numbers going up. I'm also getting, I think I talked about this last week, but I'm getting really weird traction on my YouTube video about Etsy. I don't know where it's bumping up.
I mean,
again.
it's that time of year where people are wanting to sell their little tchotchkes and stuff too. So
you're right, tchotchkes.
It could be that.
Yeah. And yeah, so I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me, which has been really nice, and it's kind of getting me re-excited to try to do more content around it. So I've had people ask me for like one-on-ones with them and paid, and I'm like, oh, maybe I actually might offer
one-on-one doing what exactly?
Etsy stuff.
Oh, right.
Okay, so the trick to get your video, your Etsy video, to crush it is to put something about money, like how you made so much money on Etsy. Because I posted a video on my friends over at Green Street Joinery boxes. And I said to Jeff, Jeff, I'm going to put a clickbait title on this because it's $100,000 worth of salt boxes, because there's 1,000 salt boxes that are $100 each. And that video's gotten 140,000 views.
That's what I should do.
So
just
it's
super
really
clickbaity.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So on the title, I said, I forget exactly what I said, but it's true. That's the deal. It's $100,000.
I made $100,000 in boxes or something like that.
I forget exactly how I worded it, but it's a 25-minute long video about Jeff telling us how he makes these boxes, and it's got 140,000 views. So anyway, the point is, hook the dollar sign to it somehow.
Yeah. So what I did, I looked up my clickbait title, and it was one of my better ones, the at least a thumbnail for it. It was like, how to Etsy, taking your shop to the next level. And it's like me pointing up with like a stock market thing going up green. So just shy of the dollar sign, but that's where it's at. So hey, if it's helping people out, that's awesome.
My question is, how are you reworking your Etsy SEO?
So I realized that a lot of the first stuff that I ever put out 2 years ago, I had very, very generic things, and also the tags in there. And also there's not a lot in my description. I'm trying to rework my description, something that I'll be throwing at the end of each one of them to kind of like zhuzh it up, so to speak. Okay. But the biggest thing is the tags, and a lot of the tags were to me directly. So when people searching me, they're finding that, but it might not be relevant to someone that's just searching for an item. So I'm trying to pivot, take away some of the ones that are leading to me, and put that maybe in a description, like handmade and designed in this town in New Jersey by this person at this shop, and it's in my description, so I don't need to necessarily put it in my other stuff. Because if you know about Etsy, if you've ever searched a shop on Etsy, you will not find it unless you spell it exactly how it's supposed to be spelled. Like, I can't find Dan unless I search like 3 different times. But if I just search Dunlap, the AWP and like a couple of other things will come up because we're all kind of tied and we've used each other as tags before. So I will find his page. But in most cases, if you're searching for a page for someone, you're not going to find their account unless you have the exact spelling of how their shop is set up. That's why it's so important to have the handle be exactly the same as all the other ones. DDWW working.
Well, I don't really have much focus on Etsy anymore, but for my tags, I do coffee, like my last name, and then coffee, like the drink, because people misspell that all the time. I do coffee builds, coffee custom, coffee customs, coffee custom builds, COFFEE custom. I do all the different tags with my different various spellings of my name, and that usually pulls me up pretty quick. So I mean,
So it pulls you
you
up.
just got to get your name tagged in.
But then you have to think about the stuff that is more item specific. So that's
I have that as well.
you
You get 13.
And
so I can do
the,
like 5 or 6 to my name, and then
the
actual
annoying
item
thing
gets-
about this time of the year, like if you're really trying to get behind the SEO and get ahead of it, you put in like Christmas gift for, or
Wow.
gift for him, or gift for men, literally in your tag, because
Wow.
that's just, or if something is topical to, like, let's say Easter, it's an Easter gift. Like you literally type that in, and it will help you get your boosted from season to season. So you do have to kind of revisit your SEO once in a while, and it's a pain in the butt, and I hate doing it. Honestly, I wish I had somebody else to help me out with it, because it's just tedious, repetitive work, and very easy to lose track of the items. But anyways, that's a lot about Etsy. Sorry.
Good tips.
But if you're seeing results, that gives you a bit of a boost,
I'm
I think.
Seeing good results. I've seen my conversion rate dip from last year, but I haven't really released a lot of items this year. Since I've done this, I started releasing a couple items. I've seen it double. So,
Nice.
I mean, yeah. So the results are getting there, which is good. I'm trying to get some good funds this holiday season, because usually for me, Christmas kind of funds the next 6 months of me doing whatever I want in a shop.
Nice.
Whether it's buying tools or lumber or whatever, or doing projects, or trips, I'm able to fund all of it, which is really nice. So aside from that, sorry, there's a lot about Etsy and making stuff. I want to try to get through a lot of the lumber that's in my shed, because I want to get rid of some of the live edge stuff that's been like checking and cracking. I want to turn it into charcuterie boards, get it out the door, and sell it off this holiday season to make room
So
for
it can
more
crack on
lumber.
somebody else.
No, once you finish it with oil and stabilize it, you're good. Aside from that, I had 2 family moves. So my brother-in-law Max moved out, and my parents moved in for the week. They're going back to Poland on Sunday. So because they have to be ready for Mike, who's flying out to Poland for Pierogi Fest.
Yes.
2022.
Yeah. And so it's kept me really busy the last 2 weeks, just getting all that set up. And this weekend is actually kind of exciting, aside from my parents leaving. Not that that's exciting, sad, super sad. I'm so sad to see my parents go. Brooke and Michael from Maker's Workshop are coming up. We're actually gonna have a whole weekend together. We might make some content, make some projects, and this is kind of lame, but I'm excited. We're going to the city to see Phantom of the Opera before it's no longer on Broadway. So it's kind of
That actually sounds fun to me. So
it's like gonna be a fun little weekend. So
I literally saw Phantom of the Opera like 30 years ago.
if you want to
No-
see it
no
again,
lie.
it's about to be off Broadway, I think, by the end of the year.
It was good. It was good.
So
Cool.
that's my week.
Nice. Well, let's jump
Let's
into
grill this
questions.
guy. Questions?
Well, let's jump into questions real quick. Let's
Yeah.
let's get moving here on these. The first question is from Daniel Taylor.
Good morning, AWP, or evening, depending on when you're listening. Anyways, hi guys, this is Daniel with Taylor Custom Crafted. First time caller, long time listener. Hi Mike, I'm so glad to see that the train is back on the rails. Anyways, that's not important. What is important to me right now is I finally got a logo so I can start creating my brand, building an empire, taking over the world. Anyways, I need hats, t-shirts, stickers, swag, whatever you want to call it these days. Where did you go? Where did you get yours from? Who do you recommend? Can you fill me in? Peace.
all right.
I will jump in first here.
I gotta say, he is concise. Energy, little too much, but I love it.
No, I mean, I wish I had that energy. I feel
You got
so
right
bad.
to
I'm
the
so
point.
exhausted today. Like that guy gets me pumped. I want to go do stuff. Shirts I use.
We all
What's
use
the thing I use, Pete?
Full.
Printful.
We all use
Yeah.
Printful.
Yeah, Printful is good. Hats I use Tierno Designs, or I will use what's the other guy? Organic Craft is a good one on Etsy. I like Christian. I have nothing wrong with Organic Craft. He's been good. He was good to me, but I just have known Christian for a bit longer, and I'm supporting his endeavor. And then for stickers, I use Sticker Beat. I don't know, just it's stickers, so whatever. They're just stickers, so you can get them really anywhere, I guess. But I have a code if you'd like that. And then
Petrie
what else was
20.
there? Yeah, use code Petrie20 for 20. What else was that? It just kind of like how to get swag,
Where do
right?
you get your swag?
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe where do you get your coffee?
I mean, I get all my coffee from Coffee Grinds.
There
It's
you
the
go.
best coffee.
I'd say I lob that to you.
Thank you so much. This
John,
week
do you have
brought to
any
by
do
Coffee
you have any
Grinds.
swag? Do you have any tips?
I don't have any swag. I need to do that one of these days.
You're crushing it on plans.
You don't really have to.
No, but I'd
It's
like
just-
to.
It's
I'd
all
like to.
extra. It's just great.
Extra money, you mean?
Yeah, it's all just extra work too. But a lot of it is once you set it in place, it's
Yeah.
just gravy.
Yeah,
It comes in.
I don't know. I feel like I've gotten like overwhelmed with everything, and I'm kind of been putting the brakes on the last like year and a half.
That's
and just
good.
kind of settling in.
Time to
Yeah,
hire
I don't
help.
know. What's that?
Time to hire help.
Yeah. But I have to tell you, it's nice not having anybody working for you either. I've had people
Yeah.
work for me. It's
Yeah.
it's nice to be like, shit, man, it's a nice day. I'm going mountain biking
It's true.
and not worry about it, you know? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know, it's interesting because the two younger boys might want to do something with real estate one day, and maybe we'll do something. So right now I'm just kind of doing my little thing of designing a piece of furniture. I hope to get maybe 6 pieces of furniture a year and create classes with those. And I should have some good shirts to go along with that, but that maybe, so I'm going to re-listen to this and take notes on it. And I'm going to go and get shirts.
Printful is really easy to set up. I mean, Pete helped me out. I mean, honestly, I don't ever push that at all, to be honest. And I haven't seen like a single. Call Pete up. He's
I
a
got you,
good
John.
Printful guy.
It's
He'll
pretty
get you set up in
seamless
like
to-
in 30 minutes.
And you like the quality shirt?
you
if you-
can choose. They have
Yeah.
all kinds of all the high top brands. Like you just
Okay.
Yeah,
choose-
you can have cheapo ones on there, but you can choose nice like tri-blend, high quality shirts and stuff. So
and they do two
I-
types.
that's-
It's print. It's print directed PDG. Print directly to garment,
Okay.
whatever. So it's those are. It usually lasts a good amount of time. The way some of us wear our shirts, where you'll wear the same shirt twice a week for the year. Yes, you'll wear it out a little faster. But honestly, in most cases, you're not gonna see
I
any
have like
difference.
7 shirts.
Yeah.
It's like-
and then then they do embroidery as well. Embroidery is really good too.
I just like a good, comfortable shirt. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's a sponsor or not. I'll wear the
Right.
shirt.
Right.
Like
Yeah, if it's
Bella
comfy, I'll
Canvas
wear
is
it.
a nice soft one. Gildan's the more like tough fabric one. But you can play around with it. It's all the major brands. Like a lot of now, I
cool.
like when I get a shirt from someone or even from a random like not a store, but like somewhere where it's got a cool logo and I like it. I immediately go to the label. I'm like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Okay, it's this company, and I look it up and see if it's on Printful because like sometimes I want a tough shirt. I want something that's not gonna rip, or stretch easily in a shop.
Yeah.
So-
Something that fits good and feels comfortable. That's the
Mhm.
most
Yeah.
important thing to me.
I need something that fits around these pythons.
The guns.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Thank you, John. Respect.
Dan, what do you do for your schwags?
Well, you guys know I do Printful for shirts, and I also do Tierno for hats. I print my own stickers now because the label printer does so good. I mean, my logo's black and white. I have this thermal label printer. I just buy 3-inch stickers and zoop, 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 print them out
Nice.
myself. I mean, I send out 40, 50 stickers a week now with my Etsy order, so it just seemed like a no-brainer to me. I mean, I'm printing shipping labels anyway, so if you want a link to the label printer, hit me up. I'll send you an Amazon affiliate link or something. That's it for swag. I don't do much else. Petey,
Hey,
you're gonna have the same answer.
for the most part, Printful for all of my apparel. Although I am looking for potentially doing some bulk orders to have some stuff on hand to give out because occasionally I do want to give out a shirt or something. I've actually started. So for hats, I use. I haven't used Tierno, but I've worn a bunch of his hats. It's very comfortable. Good.
This is a
work.
Tierno hat right here.
Yeah, good quality. I think Dan, I have one of yours, and I think Mike's as well. But I use Mike from Organic Craft. He's always been great to me. He always helps me out. And I've actually gotten into the habit of like I do have it available through Etsy, but I tend to give out a lot of hats, and I'll actually order in bulk from him. And sometimes I'll hit him up. But if I get like 6 or 10 hats, I'll go, hey, can you make 2 of those youth hats? And they're slightly smaller, so like you can give them out to my nephews or some teenagers or neighbor's kid or something. So that's been kind of fun. And like I can fully do those. It's the leather that you can buy that you can stick on. You can
Yeah,
get
you guys have the
adhesive,
equipment. You
but
could do that.
But a lot of these guys, they use better quality stuff. They get the 3M stuff that's like $1,000 a roll instead of like the $50 stuff from Amazon that you didn't stick on. Because some people literally just like spray the adhesive, stick it on, and you do see it come off sometimes. So I have had good results. So I'm gonna keep using the guy I got. And for stickers, I use Sticker Beat right now. Just disclosure, I have a relationship with them. So like I work with them, but I ordered from them before I worked with them, and they're always great. Before that, I used Print Runner, but honestly, stickers, you can go through any brand that's going to give you a really good deal. But if you go through Sticker Beat, Peachtree 20 for 20% off your purchase. So you're welcome. And then that's it. I think that's all of it. And Dan, I think I am going to start printing because you're thinking smart stonks with the black and white label. I got a black and white logo.
I mean, a lot of us
well
woodworkers
just
do
print
have
it.
black and white labels. I mean, if you just look around Instagram amongst the community, I mean, so many black
We're
and
just
white
smart.
labels
We're saving on ink.
or logos. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Cool. Well, that was Swag Talk with AWP.
Swag Talk.
So the next question is from Thomas from France. This is our last question, actually. Let's jump into this real quick.
There's one sound that no one knows. What does the
French.
say?
Hey guys, it's Thomas here. Okay, so I have two questions. The first one is fast. John, I saw you using this UV curing hard wax oil in one of your videos, and I found it very interesting, but you did not use it in the latest video. Why? Also, you said the lamp can be expensive. I think you said that, but you could easily build one yourself. I actually made one with my brother, and it's super easy. You just need a UV LED chip, a DC step-up, and a fan, and also a battery. Alright, now the long one. Take a deep breath. Relax. It's gonna be alright. Ready?
Ready.
So, I'd like everyone's opinion on content making, especially YouTube. First, a little context to my question. I started making YouTube video when I used to fly freestyle drone. I'm not talking about DJI drone, but completely manual, high power and really agile drones. Each time I would fly, I would carefully choose a song that would match the style of the flight, but also match the spot where I flew. Then I would edit everything, and the music, flight, and transitions had to be synchronized. I stopped flying during the COVID thing, sold all my stuff, and started woodworking, but I still make videos because for me it's almost half the fun. And I still apply the same editing rules. It sometimes takes me days to edit a video, and sometimes I wonder if it's worth it because, well, not much people watch them. Then I look at Derestar's videos where there is little to none edit, and they are great. So, is the content more important than the way it's delivered? And then I also watch Paul Jackman case where the content is great and the way it's delivered is perfect in my opinion. So yeah, I guess it also depends on the kind of video you make, and like John, you do more of a tutorial like video while Dan does more of a entertainment like video, I think. Alright, sorry guys, it was a long one. Please debate. Merci, à plus.
I hate the accent, but I can get rid of it. I'm stuck with the accent.
That was a long series of questions. Holy
John,
smokes.
did you
That's,
catch
that's
all
kinda
that?
hot.
Sure thing. I'll start real quick with the vestings. That's the
Yeah.
hard wax oil finish with the LED cure. And I really like it. I just haven't finished that many pieces of furniture since that last project. So most of the finishes were for outdoor projects since that project, except for this desk that I recently finished. And I thought about using the vestings for that, but
How would that work outside? I mean, would that?
oh no, you couldn't use it outside.
Yeah.
No, the desk
Okay.
is an interior piece.
Okay.
So for most of the finishing that I've done since the vesting oil finish or hard wax oil finish was for exterior pieces. the first opportunity that I've had to use it again was for this desk, but I really wanted to use the Total Boat Halcyon because I wanted to see how well it holds up. I think it's a very strong finish because I have it on some of my shop furniture. And my wife is she's going to use this as a work desk. So she's going to leave a cup of coffee on it. She's going to leave something on it. And I want to see how it holds up just as a test for myself. Now, the thing with waterborne finishes in my view is they often make the wood look very dull and unappealing. The way around that is to shellac the wood first. So you shellac the wood, then you put your coats of the waterborne finish on it. So that's what this has.
That's a good tip.
And so it was kind of a test to see how it does. And I might not have had enough of the clear vesting finishes for a top this size. That may have also come into my decision making while I was kind of getting there. I'm sure that a lot of woodworkers out there have so many different finishes to options like in their cabinet that they can use at any given time. And sometimes it can come down to something as simple as, do I have enough of this specific finish to finish the job?
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of that too. So that was the one question, and you guys can take over.
Well, you had go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was going to say I have some experience with vesting. I have the setup and I've used that stuff. And I don't want to try. I mean, that finish the finish looks fine. I mean, it's a bit, it doesn't amber nearly as much as I would hope for a wax, but I think it's because it's got the, I think it's soy based, if I remember straight, like the UV, it's soy based, if I remember straight. It doesn't have as much ambering in it. It was a very durable. I used it on 2 pieces and it felt very durable once you get the second and third coat on there and you hit it with that UV light. It was a durable wax on there. It was really good. I don't think I liked the coloring as much, but also the process to me seemed kind of arduous. I think was my issue with it's really neat. You break this light out and you're watching it harden in front of your eyes. It's just such a neat process and it works, and it clearly works really well. But I think there's other hard wax oils out there that I can get. I rarely have pieces that I have to have the finish ready in minutes. I mean, I'm usually the 1 week cure time is good for me with the other hard wax oils that are out there. So it's a cool finish and it's a really cool concept. But I think the biggest thing was the cost of entry seemed to be high. And I ended up using it on my bed, and I actually really liked it on my bed frame that I used. It looked really nice. I didn't want a super ambery finish on the walnut, and it was just looked really nice. It was a cool finish, but I don't use it very much, honestly. I just think there's other options for me.
So you said there was a high cost of entry. Was one of those things the light, because that's one of the things that Thomas brought up was the light's expensive, but you can actually build one yourself. He said he and his brother made one, and it's super easy.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I can't speak to that, so I'm sure he's right. It makes sense to
stick
me
it
to be very easy.
To cure if the weather's
you can.
okay?
You can.
So you can take a piece out and just rotate it in the sun, and if it's a small enough piece, you could definitely bypass the light.
Yeah,
so we had to put
a tabletop rotisserie in the backyard.
Yeah, we had. Well, I have a window in the finish booth, and I had to put a towel over the top of that because it was the UV light was curing the finish before I could get to it. So so that you definitely can use the sun. The UVs will absolutely. The sun has a pretty decent amount of UVs. It does a good job of that. So yeah, it works good. And then the next question Tomas had, I thought was really good. Oh, sorry guys. Did you guys have any thoughts on the vesting? I'm sorry.
No,
I've never used it.
No. Yeah. And then the other question was about making content specifically for YouTube. He talked about the art, how long it takes to create the content. He would fly these drones and he'd edit music for that, and he'd edit them down and he'd spend the time putting all that together. And he's right. There's just a ton of time that goes into YouTube. It's just so much. And he's talking about how much time it takes. And then you see someone like DeResta put a video out where, it, you know, he just kind of speeds it up 2 times and chops it up really quickly. And it, you know, the videos are good that DeResta makes for sure. But it does appear that he doesn't put as much effort as other people in there. And I think he would even say himself that, hey, I just kind of speed it up and chop it down. He does, you know, there's definitely something to being able to pick out the best parts of the content. But is it worth putting in all the time to make this beautiful video when someone can just speed it up, chop it up, throw it up, and it gets 5 million views? So I think that's a great question. John, you've been on YouTube for a very long time. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it depends. I guess it's hard to answer that, but I will say this about Jimmy's videos, because if you've ever seen him post stories about how he edits, he's got such an artistic eye where he makes these little, you know, cuts a sec, you know, whatever, a tenth of a second here. He'll purposely like put something down, which kind of is like an end scene. So all that stuff like really works. And it's funny because I would look at his videos and think, wow, he's just fast forwarding. And then I watched his stories and it's like, wow, it's really neat. It's like kind of behind the curtain to see how all this stuff is going on, and he's editing this and it all makes sense and it works, it flows. And so that works for him. On the other side of it, what Jimmy can do is he can do voiceover really well, which is, I hate doing voiceover. And he has a very natural way of doing it. So I saw some of his videos where it'll like he was painting the porch or doing something to his porch, and he just did this. It was a voiceover like he was just sitting there talking to you. So I think he's got kind of like a natural gift when it comes to video making.
I think that's a huge sell for his videos, the voiceover work, for sure.
It is for sure. Like it I think that's the thing why he does well, because it appears that he's not putting a lot of effort into it, but it's very obvious he puts a lot of care into his videos and how he does it. So I think that's why he does so well, because you're looking at like, oh, I could do this. And then you start getting in and you're like, oh, I can't do this. This guy's got something special that he does with his videos. And I mean, it's just not replicable. I mean, people will try to replicate how he does it, but I just think Jimmy puts a lot of care into it. And on the surface, it looks like it's super easy, but you're right. He hits it with an artistic approach.
And that's what they always say, right? If it looks easy, if somebody makes it look easy, that means they're really good at it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what Jimmy does. And I remember thinking something similar, like, wow, that would be really easy to just kind of fast forward stuff. But then I just kind of realized, like, okay, that's not my thing. I guess I'll focus on the teaching aspect of it. And so this video may not do well at all. But I'll take solace in that, if that's the correct word, because I think it's a good lesson. I think it's
you stuck to your guns.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day that this is going to be a good woodworking lesson. And if somebody wants to build a desk, they'll be able to build this desk with the combination of the plans and the lesson. Yeah. And so that's what happens in my business. I sell a lot of plans to people all over the world. And that's kind of a real high you get when people are building your furniture design. Cool. So a couple of years ago, I basically decided that I'd like to have a collection of furniture that people can build. So it's not really a focus on what's trending at the time or what's potentially exciting. I don't really care what's exciting now. I care more about what's going to look good in a house 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Smart.
I don't.
That's smart. Guys, you got any thoughts on this? Dan, specifically?
Well, as you may or may not know, I actually have somebody else doing the shooting and the editing for me now. So it's not anything I'm super concerned about. I mean, he's killing it with the editing. I really like what he's doing. But I will say that he is putting a ton of time in it. And I almost feel bad for the amount that I'm paying him for the work that he's doing. But you know, my videos aren't getting a ton of views either. You know, I don't have nearly the subscriber base that John does over here, but I have an okay subscriber base. I think I have less than Coffee as well. And, you know, my videos, the ones that we've been putting up, they've only been getting 300, 400, 500 views. But I do it in the hopes and in the not just the hopes, but like deep down, I know that eventually things are going to take off and they're going to do well. And, and I'm not just doing it for the here and now, I'm doing it for the future as well. So I look forward to the future views, not just the views I get in the first week or whatever.
It must be nice working with a videographer that you have a nice relationship with.
It's super nice. He hasn't been here this week, and it's been kind of a bummer that he hasn't been around.
Well, he's lonely.
I am lonely. I got used to him. He's in Portugal right now. I didn't say that in What's on My Bench. He's also a photographer / videographer, and he got a chance to go shoot some surfing competition in Portugal.
Ooh,
so
cool.
He's gone from Wednesday to Wednesday.
That's right. He is a surfer. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
That's that big, that huge break by that lighthouse, I think.
Yeah, he's out there right now shooting it.
What's it called? Nosar?
I can't remember the name he told me. He told me. I don't remember.
Crazy big waves.
Yeah, he's out there with some professional surfer. They invited him out and asked him to come shoot it. I was like, oh,
that sounds
yeah.
awesome.
He goes, would you be mad if I went? And I'm like, what kind of a jerk would I be if I said,
Mad
yeah,
if you
go?
didn't.
Right? Anyway, that's that. Yeah, I have an editor. Pete, you have any insight on this?
Honestly, the more I watch other people do it, because I don't put out a ton of content, but that's the fact of the matter is, Tamai, you're putting out content. You're doing content. You've put out more videos this year than I did. Congrats. That's not I've put out 0 this year, but you're putting out content. And the people say, oh, you want quality over quantity, but like, no, quality is gained with quantity. I'm sorry. Yeah, with quantity. So like you want to put out the most amount of content, you want to keep practicing the craft, because that's what's going to lead to good quality. And you're going to learn what works, what doesn't. You need a data pool for you to grow. And like, John, you've got quite a good data pool, so you know what works and what doesn't,
I don't. I don't. I fully
got tons of videos. Get out of here.
No, but I don't know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, nobody knows what works and what doesn't.
But volume
I
gets your
continually
results.
do what doesn't work, because I wouldn't be surprised if this video tanks. But I guess I do know how to make a video that might do well. Okay, so for instance, we talked earlier about how the shellac will give you the amber before you put down a water-based finish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did here. And I thought, you know what, maybe not everybody knows this. I'm going to make a quick video about this. And that video did pretty well for me. So that video probably, tips, tools, things like that will get views.
Yeah, project videos seem to have a real tough time right now.
Yeah, project videos, like this project video, I'm not making it for views. I'm making it to help the person who bought the plans and wants to build the desk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're the sponsor.
And it changes the way I deal with the camera and everything else, because I'm not concerned if I'm boring you. I'm not concerned if you know how to do this already. I'm assuming that you bought the plans and you want to be guided through this project. And so my advice to anybody buying the plans, and I'll probably make a video about this, is sit down and take 25 minutes and watch the video and look through the plans while you're watching the video. That's going to give you a dry run on this project, and you're going to feel that much better when you start cutting wood.
Cool.
So
that's good.
We'll see. And we'll see how it does. Maybe it'll do well.
I
just never know.
Say about, so YouTube is a lot of work. Every year I'm like, I'm going to do YouTube and it's going to happen at the beginning of the year. I like do this resolution for the last few years where I'm like, I'm going to focus on it, and and then it never does. And I'm in the situation where my business has just become more important than that. That's the bottom line. Like, my business is more important than being able to put out content. And, now the business is in a place where I'm starting to feel like, okay, I can kind of pull myself back and utilize my employees to do more of the day-to-day stuff. And then I can start focusing on content. And I'm in the middle of dealing with some of that stuff right now. I'm in the middle of working on, it's already done deal, but a videographer is going to be part of the Coffee Custom Builds team starting at the first of the year. And me and him are actually doing 2 ventures. We're going to be building the Coffee Custom Builds YouTube channel, but also we're doing this other thing, which I'll talk more about in the next coming months. But I mean, it's for me, I have no desire to get better at recording video. I have no desire to get better at editing, but I really like putting out content. So for me, it makes the most sense to have a videographer. And I don't want to I'm not going to get better at that stuff. I've like tried to force myself. I've bought, decent camera equipment. I've bought decent editing software. And it just, at the end of the day, I just want to make furniture. That's all I want to do is just make furniture all day long.
Let me say this. The beauty of having a videographer follow you around, Mike, versus doing it yourself, it frees you up to be more of yourself and show your actual personality.
That's what I
and
want.
That is what makes it super fun to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Being like getting my person. I think for my camera presence, I think my personality is very important. And what I can bring to that, me worrying about the shot, me worrying about if I hit the record button, all those things, it just is going to take away. It's going to detract from the content. So a cinematographer, cinematographer is going to be who's going to be handling this with me. And I'm excited to announce more of that. We have some really exciting stuff coming down the pipe. So I've never dealt with that. I don't know what it's going to become. I hope it becomes something, but that's something I really want to do. It's important to me. I think the best content there is on YouTube. And then everything else kind of behind that gets less and less value because it's more and more short form, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's not. Is your
videographer also going to be a woodworker?
He is a furniture maker.
Okay, that's going to be a huge hound
he's got 10 years behind the camera and 10 years of editing experience, but he's been building furniture for 15 years. He's a full-time cinematographer. Does big corporate events, but he also does advertising for television, and does TV shows. He's like a real cinematographer. Like this guy is legit, makes really beautiful movies and videos. And me and him actually met through Instagram and through woodworking. And we've kind of developed we've developed a friendship over the years. And we've been trying to figure out how to work together. And we finally worked that out over the summer. We got the decision as to how we're going to do that. So I'll share more of that. We're actually going to do a video on how all that came together. But yeah, it's going to be really, hopefully good. We'll see. Well, I don't know.
I think one of the best kind of woodworking videographer teams out there is Richard from Finished Carpentry TV and John, who works for him. If you're not familiar with that channel, they kill it. I mean, I think John has worked for Richard as as a finished carpenter for years, and I guess they just decided to start videoing it a couple of years ago. And
what was that name, John? Finished Carpentry TV?
Yeah, Finished Carpentry TV, or Finisher Carpenter TV.
Cool.
You see him?
Yeah, I'm checking that out. I'm looking it up right now. They got like 400 videos.
Look at his view count.
Carpentry TV.
Look at his view count.
Are they bonkers?
Yeah. And I don't think it slows down his workflow.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
All right, guys. So we are pulling up to this house. And
Michael, you're sharing your audio. Rookie
that shouldn't
move.
have happened.
So he's super talented, for one thing, very good on camera, but also it's a very natural conversation, I think, because he's talking to John, his cameraman, and the guy that he works with all the time.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like him talking to the camera. So cool. Well, those were Tomas' questions, and that's actually a long episode. So Pete, I'm gonna throw it to you. I know Pete's got some questions real quick.
Well, I'm gonna keep it quick because I know everyone's always kind of wondering about, like, we bring on other content creators, furniture makers, and that's the dream. Everyone wants to be where you're at, where you can live off of doing what you're passionate about and teaching, all that stuff. So, you kind of talked about how you got into YouTube, but can you talk a little bit about how you got into plans and how you at what point did you figure out oh, I can monetize this? How can I monetize? What was your thought behind woodworking and monetization? A broad term.
Sure. Well, other people had gotten into plans way before me, like Jay Bates and April Wilkinson, and of course Mark Spagnolia. And I started to just make my plan by hand, and I would give them away. And then somebody said, you should really just have those turned into professional plans, and then you could sell them. And so I reached out to Brian Benham, and he's a super talented woodworker and really fantastic at making plans. We have a great relationship because I can give him my plans, and then I give him some video detail on an unlisted link, and then he takes that information and turns them into what I think is a really good product.
That's nice.
So that's just so that's one revenue stream. Another revenue stream is working with YouTube and just getting AdSense, and that's okay. I mean, you can count on it, so that's nice. And then there's sponsors. I've been working with sponsors for probably 6 years now, and I work with a lot of different sponsors. It's not just woodworking. I work with Jonathan Green that sells yard products like grass seed, fertilizer, things like that. Earlier, I talked about working with Stable. Stable is a fuel stabilizer. Just from being a homeowner for the last 30 years and having a generator, I've always used Stable in my generator. So I reached out to them, and so I work with them. And I reached out to them recently because I'm doing a lot of EMTB, which is electric mountain bike or pedal assist mountain biking. And I guess they saw that I was doing that, and they have a sport brand now. And so now I'm going to work with them for the sport brand. Maybe I can build out a corner of the shop.
Neat.
For the mountain biking, because I want that to be part of my lifestyle. Just getting older. I'm 55 years old, or I'll be 55 years old this year. And the older you get, the more aware you become of you want to try to stay in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And so cycling and things like that, I want to have I don't want that just to be something I do. I want that to be part of my life.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So yeah, it was, and as far as getting into YouTube, it's like, listen, we all love Norm, and we all love This Old House. And even back when I was working at the Woodworker in the 80s, I thought, wow, this guy Bob that I was working for, he's better than Norm, because he was. I mean, this guy Bob Walczak's like a genius, or as good as Norm. I don't want to come down on Norm at all, but I mean, there's a lot of talented woodworkers out there.
Right.
So
it's
anyway,
not just the ones you see on the internet.
Yeah, it's not just the ones you see on the internet. That's the truth. So anyway, I just remember thinking like, wow, I wish I knew somebody who had a camera and knew how to take videos, because I would like to teach some of the stuff that I know that I've learned over the last couple of decades. Then YouTube showed up. I made a video through the help of YouTube of my kids snowboarding. And once I edited that video together, I was like, holy cow, I'm going to make a video. I made a video of this table that I built, put it on YouTube to show my brother-in-law, got some great comments, and I was addicted.
Yeah. Yeah, releasing the video is always kind of cool. It feels really good. I mean, I haven't done enough of it. It's addicting.
Well, and I say this all the time, so I might sound like, I'm repeating myself. Anybody who makes something that they're proud of, more than getting paid for it, wants to show it to somebody who appreciates it.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you can hit that button and have people who appreciate what you've done leave a comment or a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it really is just wonderful.
Right on. That's cool, man. Very inspiring stuff. Pete, you got anything else?
I guess the only other question I have is like, what's your next big project that you're working on? Something that you're maybe you're planning.
So
sorry, we're keeping you really late, but I'm just curious.
I'm doing the shed project, but the next project will be a bookcase, and so I'm now looking. So this is just a little YouTube history because everybody did this. Back in the day, it was like just burn the candle at both ends and get a project done and post it on Friday or Saturdays, and then start the next day so you can do the same thing next week. And that was kind of this race. And slowly I decided, like, okay, I'm going to start looking at each piece of furniture as sort of a semester in school, and give myself this 5 to 6 to 7 weeks to make it. And then that will be a piece of furniture that ends up in, like, let's call it the John Peters collection, that people will build and add to their homes. And the idea of that is just exciting. And people will build the furniture and then send me pictures of it in their home. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. You know, and that's the kind of stuff I'll show to my wife. And she's like, holy shit, man. Well, she doesn't swear. She'll be like, holy cow, John, you were right. People do want to build your furniture. So
Pretty cool.
Super cool.
yeah, it's fun.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, John.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
This is a terrible show, and you're better than this. So you should. Thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate you coming on. It was great talking to you at Maker Camp for sure. That was really nice. That is one of my favorite events.
Look forward to the next one.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be great. Anyways, programming note. Sorry, I'm falling apart here. I'm exhausted. Programming note. I will not be on the show next week. Pete, Dan, or I will figure out someone to cover for me. We'll have some special guest. We'll announce that during the week, or whatever Pete and Dan decide to do on how they're going to announce it. They're going to have them come out of a cake or something like that.
Like that.
Yeah, come out of a cake. But anyways, go check out John on YouTube and Instagram. John, I assume you're on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, go check them out on all the places where people try to make money off content, because that's
OnlyFans, John. OnlyFans, John.
That's next.
I gotta conquer the world, baby. Yeah, 1 foot pick at a time. No, anyway, go check out John everywhere. John makes great stuff. He makes great content. He's a great guy. So go check him out. And we really appreciate you coming on the show, John. And we will talk to you guys all very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Love you long
Thanks, guys.
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.